Okay, welcome to phase 4. Lots going on today in the system. So number 1, Operation Respect, which is led by the Mask Force, which you see with me and behind me, and hundreds of people in the system today. They are branching out throughout the system. They're not just in stations, they're on trains, and they are handing out masks to anyone who would need one. It is hard to imagine at this point that anyone doesn't have a mask, but falls out of your pocket on the way to the station, you leave it at home, you break the elastic band, you need a mask. We still have them in every station in the system, or I'm sorry, at every booth, at every station in the system. We also have them with our Mask Force volunteers handing them out on trains. These are New York City Transit colleagues, these are MTA colleagues, and these are also advocates and community leaders and elected officials and folks who just want to jump in and be helpful. So we're grateful to them, grateful for all their support, grateful for their work. Also today, we received a donation of 1 million new masks from the state, so we're grateful for that. That helps us with our efforts this week and just continuing to stockpile that PPE that we need. We're also launching a new PSA campaign that we will play for you. Rosie Perez, reminding New Yorkers to wear their mask. I don't know if we want to play that now or I can continue. Yeah? You want to do it? Stand by for Rosie.
What's up, New York? When you're riding a train or bus, wear a mask. Show your fellow riders respect. And it's the law. Do the right thing. It's up to us, New York. Hola, Nueva York. Cuando se suba al autobús o al metro, póngase la máscara. Respete a los pasajeros. Y es la ley. Haga lo correcto. Está en nuestras manos, Nueva York.
Okay, wonderful. A couple other items that Sarah Meyer and Craig Cipriano will touch on a little bit more in a minute. This week we are starting a program where we will have mask dispensers in buses. This is a pilot program. We'll see how it goes. Homemade mask dispensers, thanks to our innovative minds at buses, allow folks who board the bus and do not have a mask with them to take a mask. We'll see how that pilot program goes, and if it goes well, we'll obviously expand it. And then finally, this week, 160 BTO officers on buses helping to enforce the mask requirement. So again, huge thanks to Sarah Meyer for what she's launched here, to Craig for everything he's doing, and I'll turn it over to them. Thank you. Craig?
Thank you, Sarah. So first and foremost, I want to thank our customers who throughout this pandemic have used our bus system to perform their essential activities and to get to and from work. And I also want to thank our heroic bus operators who continue to move the city throughout this pandemic. We are currently serving approximately 1.2 million daily customers each weekday, and the overwhelming majority are complying with the law. And our surveys show that between 95 and 98% of bus customers are wearing masks. But one thing I want to be absolutely clear: we need 100% compliance. When you wear a mask, you're protecting your health, the health of your fellow customers, and the health of our heroic bus operators. In fact, you're protecting all of New York. If a bus operator asks you to put on a mask, he or she is doing it out of respect for us all. So please, do the right thing. There have been a recent number of incidents regarding customers assaulting our operators over mask usage. Again, I want to be totally clear. This is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. There are serious consequences for assaulting MTA bus operators, and we will work with the district attorneys to prosecute any assault to the full extent of the law. To make it easier to wear masks on our buses, we are deploying mask dispensers on a pilot basis on board our buses. Anyone who does not have a mask will be able to simply take one, and by the end of this week, we'll begin on 2 routes in the Bronx. We will continue to roll this out across the city based upon pilot results. As a reminder, by the end of next month, we are restoring front door boarding in conjunction with enhanced bus operator partitions, which will create more space for our customers and enable them to get better social distance. Now I'd like to turn it over to Sarah Meyer, who can say a few words about the mask force. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. So beginning early this morning, hundreds of MTA employees and volunteers, many wearing bright yellow t-shirts, began traveling throughout the subway and bus system, offering free masks to any customer that wants them. We thank them for their hard work and dedication, and especially remind them and our customers to make sure to drink water on this very hot day. We also have a bold ad campaign entitled Safe Travels that is appearing throughout the system. We'll see it appear on our buses, all of our buses beginning on Monday of next week. You'll also see lots of how to wear a mask signage that's available on all of our digital screens. We're also fortunate enough to work with Rosie Perez and thank the state for working to ensure that that happened. We hope that the new announcements will get everybody's attention, and we're also looking forward to translating them into all languages. So remember, if you see a volunteer today, please thank them. And also, if you do not see a volunteer, please remember that all station agents in staff station booths have access to masks if you need them. Thank you.
Okay, take questions. Andrew?
As well-intentioned as the handing out free masks is, from what we see, it's a chin strap situation. People who aren't wearing masks have a mask. A free mask is just going to encourage them to put it on. Do you need to be doing something else to enforce the non-compliance?
So to the extent that folks are wearing the mask on their chin as opposed to properly, we continue our education campaign. Similar to finding yourself in the transit system without a mask, it's hard to understand how at this point you don't know how to wear a mask. But we'll continue. Look, I mean, the education stuff is part of our efforts here, and so we've got to keep reminding people. We've got folks who are out in the system monitoring mask compliance. That's one of the things that they're looking at. By the way, the numbers at this point continue to be in the mid-90s on the subway and the mid-90s on buses too. So we are seeing really good compliance across the city, but we've got to get it to 100%.
Just as a quick follow-up, is it really an education issue, or is it flat-out defiance among a small percentage of riders that they're not going to wear masks?
So I'll start, and then I want Sarah Meyer to answer too. Look, I mean, I'm not going to speak for everybody. In some cases, I think people are really hot. It's 100 degrees outside, right? And so people are looking for a little bit of relief, and I got it. But when you're on a bus, when you're in the system, when you're in the station, when you're on the train, you've got to wear a mask in the right way so that you're protecting yourself and your fellow passengers. And if you fail to show that respect, it's disappointing, I think, for everyone, and we sort of wonder how we could be at that place, given what New York has gone through over the last couple of months. But look, I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt and say they're forgetting and they need a little more education on it. But I want Sarah to speak as well.
Hey guys, so I was volunteering this morning and last week and really saw how just our presence, just staff wearing yellow shirts, reminding people, it really helped. We were able to give, in a short hour, 12 people who weren't wearing masks to wear masks. And when we walk through the cars, you could literally see people lifting up their mask and putting it on. So I do think presence helps, and we're all just volunteers, just thinking what's best for New York and out there, and we hope to continue this program because it's important, and it's important to continue reminding our neighbors and our friends to protect New York.
One on topic, that's okay.
On topic first. Let's go on topic.
Okay, that's fine. So on topic, what exactly will the bridge and tunnel officers be doing on buses? Will they be tasked with giving out fines? Will they be arresting people? Tell us about what their role is.
No, I think they're there to remind people of the law, of the requirement that people wear masks, right? Bus operators have enough to do in operating a bus safely and making sure people get safely from one point to the other. So they're going to be reminding people that they need to be wearing masks. Clayton?
The job of bus operators to enforce this? I know there's been some instances
not.
where they're asking people, have you directed bus operators to not enforce the mask requirement?
It's not. Look, it's not the job of bus operators to act as law enforcement officers, right? This is the law. The law is that the law is that people should be wearing masks, and the bus operators should be doing what they do best, doing what their job is and their responsibility is, which is to move people from point A to point B safely and safely operate that bus through the city of New York, which is no easy feat as it is. Clayton? Yeah.
Do you have any updates on any new filters that you're adding to subway cars? Have you switched out to filters? Have you switched to HEPA filters, high efficiency filters, so that you have like cleaner air in the cars?
I have been briefed on this, and I want to get back to you because I'm afraid I'll misspeak. So come back to us today. We'll follow up with you today to make sure you have what you need, because I just got briefed on this, but I'm afraid I don't remember the details properly. Yep.
So what is the benefit, would you say, of the volunteer aspect of having the mask force as opposed to enforcement? You know, what would you say to that?
Look, I think we always want, voluntary compliance. We always want to give New Yorkers every ability to do the right thing, right? So if you don't have a mask, you can get one in the booth. If you don't have a mask, you've got folks coming through subway cars giving you the opportunity to take one. So look, I mean, that's the way we want to get to 100% compliance, not through enforcement. Okay?
Anything else, Justine?
Hey, on a TV appearance, you mentioned you were frustrated by the NYPD pulling back its role from the end-of-line homeless outreach. Could you tell us a little bit more about what's changed, what that impact has been, and what you'd like to see change in the future?
Sure. I mean, look, I think, as you all know really well, the NYPD are really important partners to us. We have our own police force and the MTA police, but we partner really closely with the NYPD. They were a massive help to us and assistance when we started doing our end-of-line efforts when we had to close down the system overnight. But that effort is not as successful as it can be unless we've got a healthy security presence. And the reason for that is it's just time consuming, and it's much more efficient if we've got folks at all of the end-of-line stations. So we are staffing the end-of-line stations. NYPD is staffing some of the end-of-line stations. They are certainly there when we call for assistance. But as when the protests started, we saw the NYPD have to pull back a little bit, and that has continued, probably not surprisingly. We're in conversation with them and talks with them about making sure that we can get, as much help as we can in the places where we really feel we need it. So I'm sure that we will reach a resolution, but all of this, any pullback from NYPD is, we feel immediately in our system. Andrew?
One quick follow-up on this sort of non-compliance idea. The governor gave grocery stores, for example, the authority to refuse service to someone who's not wearing a mask. So why would you not refuse service to people who are refusing to wear a mask?
Well, it's not the issue of refusing service, and because the law is such, I think we can ask people to leave. Law enforcement can eject people from the system, which means you would not be served. But we don't want to put it on our bus operators and our MTA employees to be placed in the position where they're having to make that call. That is part of the issue. So I think bus operators are certainly well within their rights to pull over and call the police, but we don't want to put people in that position in the first place. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Good to see you all.